Well, here now to discuss the need to strengthen Nigeria's industries through business-friendly policies is Mr. Vincent Wani, who is the Director of Advocacy and Research at the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you for having me.
Now, while they argued that there may be benefits in Nigeria remaining with those international organizations, but how do we ensure that we don't just keep allowing foreign or finished goods into the country, thereby harming local industries?
One way is to tighten our borders for illegal influx of finished goods. That's one way. We find out that our border is very porous. The agencies that should man the border, be it immigration, the custom, and even other security agencies, should be alive and well to their duty. Again, we also need to renegotiate or even exit some of these bogus bilateral agreement that we are in, where we are virtually not benefiting. And lastly is to begin to address productive base of the country, make sure that it is easier for us to produce quality products at relatively cheaper prices. The meaning of that is that we need to look very critical and quickly, for that matter, on our infrastructure, be it power infrastructure, transport infrastructure, logistics. A whole lot of states within the country, Nigeria, it's not connected to each other. I can read, from Lagos down to the eastern part of the country, from Lagos down to the northern part of the country. It's very difficult to move goods, whether it's raw material or finished goods, from one point to the other. So these are challenges, and even power. So by the time all these things are very difficult, it becomes very difficult for locally manufactured goods to get to the market cheap and even at the quality. So we're creating room for foreign goods to just flood our borders and our country, and this cannot continue because it has a very difficult price we're paying on our employment and even sustainability and growth.
But while you suggest we may have to renegotiate some of these trade agreements, what kind of issues should we take into consideration so that we can also protect local industries here?
One of the things we must take into cognizance is our comparative advantage. Comparative advantage. Just to give you a good example, the ECT, the ECOWAS Common External Tariff. This is one of this policy that makes certain goods come into the country without even paying duty. I know this has taken about 80,000 jobs out of pharmaceutical company alone in Nigeria, and billions of investment, because pharmaceutical products are classified as essential that should come into the country without any duty. But again, investors in Nigeria have spent a lot of money putting pharmaceutical plants and whatever in place, and they even import raw materials at a certain duty rate. But finished goods have to come into the country free of charge. So local operators cannot compete. So we need to really look at our ability to compete and know what we can do and what we cannot do, and really fasten our seat belts and do those few things we can do. And the starting point is food. We need to feed ourselves. We need to clothe ourselves. This is an area we must not leave for foreigners to occupy.
Mr. Vincent Wani is the Director of Advocacy and Research at the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you for joining us today on Africa 54.